Hey there, WordPress enthusiast, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I have an extra special treat for you today because we are breaking down the 5 best WordPress podcasts that you can listen to and ones that you should add to your playlist immediately. These podcasts will inspire you, help you stay informed on everything that's happening in the WordPress industry, and give you insightful updates to all the fun things that are happening. The 5 different podcasts that we're covering today will have a range of formats and different shows that can really help you understand WordPress better and use the tool to your advantage. So let's dive right in. So kicking off our list is podcast number 1, and it's called the Post Status Podcast, and it's hosted by Corey Miller and Michelle Frechette. So this is also one of the top 3% WordPress podcasts in the world. It is something that is very well known in the WordPress space. From the experts that they interview on the show to the cool panels that they have that have seasoned pros all the way to brand new beginners, this show offers so many incredible insights into the world of WordPress. And because we're talking about all these incredible podcasts today, I wanted to share a listener review. It says it's great. I really love this. It's very informative. And one of the things that I personally enjoyed about listening to the podcast is the way that the hosts really understand their guest and they understand WordPress so well. So again, if you're looking for those seasoned experts that can help you walk through some of the details of WordPress that you're wanting to learn more about or ones that you're trying to improve your skill level, I absolutely recommend the Post Status Podcast. So next up, we have the WordPress Tavern Show, which is really fun because this is one that's hosted by Nathan Wrigley, and it was previously known as the WordPress Weekly Podcast, and it's one that Nathan takes you on a journey through the evolving world of WordPress, all the twists and the turns and the fun ways that he has gone through learning more about WordPress and all the cool tools that you can expect whenever you are using this dynamic platform. The WordPress Tavern Jukebox offers everything from plugins and blocks to themes and community, events, accessibility, and diversity. And I thought I would also read another review. So the review for the WordPress Tavern says, explain it to me like I'm 5, then get into the nitty-gritty. Nathan is so good at having guests start with the basics and build from there. I usually find myself somewhere in the middle, but there's always some essential little nugget I've missed along the way. I learn so much and feel like I'm filling in any missing gaps in my knowledge base. Fantastic review. You can't ask for anything better than that. So if you are looking to really up your skill level with WordPress, I highly recommend checking out the WordPress Tavern podcast. And if you're finding value in today's episode, make sure you hit that like and subscribe below so that you can get future updates on other content like this. Okay, let's move on to our third recommendation. So we need to talk about the Peaceful Growth podcast. So this is a podcast hosted by Anil Gupta, the CEO and co-founder of Multidots, Multi-Collab, and the Dot Store. So here's a little about the show. In a world where peace and growth often seem like conflicting pursuits, Anil Gupta, the host of the Peaceful Growth podcast, presents a refreshing perspective. As a former high achiever who experienced burnout in his pursuit of building a multi-million-dollar business, Anil Gupta has dedicated a decade to discovering the secrets of achieving balanced growth without sacrificing one's health, relationships, or sanity. The Peaceful Growth Podcast is a platform that invites successful entrepreneurs and individuals who have mastered this art of balance to share their insights and strategies. And it is a newer show that's really diving into the inspiring journeys of successful entrepreneurs and professionals that are in the WordPress space. So if you head on over to YouTube and you head over to the playlist, you're going to see the Peaceful Growth Podcast and all the existing episodes that they have there. So make sure you head over to the Multi-Collab YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified every time a new episode of the Peaceful Growth Podcast drops. Or if you want to check out the podcast on Spotify or other podcast players, make sure you head over to that follow button wherever you're listening to the podcast so you get updated on brand new episodes. And I wanted to read a specific YouTube comment that I thought was just fantastic. So it says, "Thank you, Joshua, for sharing detailed information about the top 10 principles. I also really like the reward success principle and will try all of them in our .store plugins. Also, thank you, Anil, for sharing this and your valuable time." So I want you to go check out this podcast because it's one of those that's really going to help you understand not only the platform of WordPress, but the community and all the incredible people behind the scenes that are building plugins, they're building apps that can help you really have an overall better experience using WordPress. Now let's move on to the WordPress Briefing podcast hosted by Josefina Hayden Champose. And I love a good branded podcast. So this is actually created by the WordPress team. So Josefina is actually the project's executive director, and she interviews incredible guests to understand more about where they are coming from in using WordPress and how they can help other people continue to grow this incredible community of WordPress users. You can learn about where WordPress is going, how we'll get there, and how you can get involved. And she invites everyone to join us today and help democratize publishing. And one of the things that I love about branded podcast in particular is you get industry insights into the company that are easier than just reading long articles and posts that would take you a long time to really get to know the person behind the article. You can listen to these podcasts and understand very quickly who these creators are and what they are doing behind the scenes to help bring you a better tool and resource for your WordPress journey. And because I like to read the reviews, this is one that says, "This is going to be good. I appreciate the length and the focus," and I couldn't agree more. Whenever I started diving into the different episodes of the WordPress Briefing, I saw that the episodes are very digestible, they're easy to listen to, and it is a show worth checking out. So if you are a WordPress user, go check out the WordPress Briefing. And last but certainly not least, we need to talk about the Do the Woo podcast because this is a fun one. I mean, it's just a fun name, Do the Woo, because it is all about using WooCommerce and WordPress together. So the show is hosted by Bob Dunn, aka Bob WordPress or WP. And I wanted to read this to you because it says the Do the Woo Network is a podcast for the community and by the community. Our goal is to elevate the voices and talents of both WooCommerce and WordPress builders globally, while giving developers, agencies, freelancers, and other builders a unique platform to share their stories, their wins, and journey in this unique ecosystem. And I thought it was so fun. Of course, I'm going to read you another review because I think that these are so helpful whenever you're looking for a brand new podcast. And it says, "This is fun and informative. Bob has a serious talent for presenting WordPress information in an enjoyable manner. And WooCommerce is certainly one of the most important plugins of our time. Thanks, Bob, for the timely and current information. A truly fun and informative podcast." So I totally agree. I thought that this show was incredible to listen to, and it really built on these two separate platforms, WooCommerce and WordPress, and how you can integrate them together for what you are creating on this special platform. But that's all I have for you today. So those are the 5 best WordPress podcasts. So whether you are just getting started with WordPress or you've been in it for a long time and you're looking for some new resources, we're going to have the links to all of these shows in the video description. So make sure that you check them out. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. That way you don't miss other videos all about WordPress and helping you on your WordPress journey.